Hi everybody, it's Claire and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit of a while since I've done a tutorial. Work's been so busy, you just wouldn't believe. But anyway, I'm back and you can see I'm back with a little Christmas page, which I thought was probably a good idea given that we're not too many sleeps away from Santa. So you can see I've got the little gingerbread house out. I've done some prep. We're going to do 4 things today. So I've got pencils and paints out. You can see all the kit ready. We're going to be looking at how I used the lovely paints to do the gingerbread house roof. We're also going to be colouring the top part of the house so that I can show you the gingerbread palette in coloured pencils. And we're also going to be doing a little bit of stenciling on the background. I know a lot of you aren't really confident with backgrounds, and I can understand why. So I thought that I'd show you a neat little Christmas background. So we're going to be using some pastels, and I've got like a little snowflake stencil there as well. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to give you a couple of little tricks on. I'm not going to be doing the border for this purposes, but there's some sweets and lollies and things, so I just thought I'd give you 2 or 3 little options of how you can make shiny sweets, so sweets that look like they're wrapped up. So we're going to be doing a few things today, so you can see I've got quite a lot of kit out. Now then, you can see the image in front of you. Okay, if I just lift that out the way, you'll be able to see that it's from Joanna Basford's Christmas book. Okay, so I'll just move that out of the way, put that back down. Okay, so let me whiz you through the kit and then we'll crack on. So in terms of my paints, I've got my lovely egg cup full of water. I've got just a modelling brush. It's a very fine tip. It's a 10-0. This is Art Master Miniature Series 100. It doesn't really have to be any particular brand. It just has to be a teeny tiny tip. And the reason for that is because the little points on these roof tiles just need a little bit of care. So I've got a very small brush out. Okay, so I'm just going to move stuff out the way as I go through. Okay, so in terms of my paints, so you can see the beautiful, if I just show you the shimmer of those in the light. And you know what I'm going to say to you, don't you? That these are KJDesignByKaren paints. And they're micro watercolours, and they're handmade, artisan, and they are the best. So these are the 4 that I've got. Now let me tell you about these. And if I just put them up here like that, you'll be able to see. Can you see Karen's details on here? So you can get them at Etsy. So it's KJDesignByKaren, spelt exactly like that. Okay, no spaces, put the capital letters in the right place, and you will find her shop on Etsy. Okay. Now then, these 4 colours, let me switch these 2 around and I'll tell you why. So, this one at the end, what I've done is, if I just take my hand out of the way for 1 second, you can see I've picked Christmassy colours. So I've got a silver, a green, a red, and kind of like a gingerbready paint. And I've kind of mirrored those with the pencils as well. But in terms of these paints, these 3 are new. Karen's just been developing them. Now, they're not in the shop yet. They're not on Etsy, but you can pre-order them. In fact, you can pre-order this set of 4. So Karen's going to release this Christmas set of 4 paints. Now let me tip them up and I will show you the colours. Can you see? So the green one is called Nebula. The red one is called Mars. The gingerbready, the lovely deep orangey kind of rust colour is called Venus. And then we've got platinum on the end. And I think platinum may be one that she's developing, or maybe one that's existing. I'm not entirely sure, but you can pre-order these Christmassy colours as a set of 4. Now, I got in touch with Karen and said, I'm going to be using these coloured paints. I know you haven't released them yet, but if I put them on a tutorial, people are probably going to want to order them. So for all they're not on her site, she's really kindly said that she will take pre-orders for this specific set for Christmas. And usually, depending on what colour you buy, they're between £4.50 and £5.50 a pan. But what she said is, if you pre-order this Christmas set, they will be £20 plus postage. And I know that Karen's postage is really reasonable. So these 2 in the middle, Mars and Venus, are actually part of a suite of planet colours that are coming out. And Nebula is a new green colour. But I just picked these because I thought they're absolutely fantastic for Christmassy colours. Okay, and I'm going to do a little demo on these, not on this page, but I'm going to do a little tiny demo with these before we start the Christmas house. Okay, so that's the paints. Okay, move the pastels out the way. So then I have a Staedtler pigment black fineliner in a 0.05. I have a white gel pen. It doesn't have to be any brand. This is a Queen. I've got a silver gel pen, silver glitter gel pen. It doesn't have to be a Wink of Stella. It doesn't have to be Zig Wink of Stella. It can be any kind of silver gel pen. And then I've got a non-branded kind of light brown glitter gel pen. Okay. So in terms of pencils, I just turn these that way. These are Prisma colours. Don't worry about writing any of these down. I'll put them in the description. I have violet, which is 932. I have Parma violet, which is 1008. I have lavender, 934. I have espresso, which is 1099. I have light umber, which is 941. I have, oh, sorry, let's just move that back, caught that with my arm. Burnt ochre, 943. I have goldenrod, which is 1034. I have sunburst yellow, which is 917. I have canary yellow, which is 916. I have lemon yellow, which is 915. I have apple green, which is 912. I have permanent red, which is 122. And then I have my Prismacolor white pencil. It's a little shorty, but it doesn't matter. It's 938. Okay. So what I'm going to do first of all is, before we come to this, I'm just going to show you what I did, just a little few tips and tricks to use these paints. I have done previous tutorials on using these paints, so you can look those up as well for a slightly longer version. But I just wanted to kind of do a quick demo of another page from the Joanna Christmas book. Just a really quick demo on the paints on this one. So let me just put this out the way for a second. Now then, let's get these beautiful paints back. Okay, so I need my paints. I need my little egg cup full of water, and I need my 10-0 brush. Okay, now I purposely haven't wet these paints in preparation of. I was using Caleros, which I have the full set of the Caleros, and I do love them dearly, but these are just so shiny, you wouldn't believe. I haven't wet them like I would have to Caleros. I don't have to prepare them because they're really, really thick and they apply really well. So basically, just to prove a point, I've left them dry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the green, and I'm just going to do one of these holly leaves. So let me and then I'll see if I need to zoom you in a bit. So just bear with me. Okay, right. So, can you see this holly leaf in shot? I think you can. There we go. Right, egg cup full of water. Brush, okay? So I'm just going to dip my brush right in the water, and I'm literally going to brush it over the top of this beautiful Nebula colour. And I should say that this tin is actually for, I think, between 8 and 10 colours. Karen does put her 4 packs together in little, really neat little tins. So you won't get a big tin like this. You'll get a proper bespoke tin for the Christmas set of 4. Okay, so I'm just going to literally put some water on the top. You do not have to wait for these to thicken at all. And I should say they actually smell like Christmas. Karen's told me why they smell like Christmas, and I don't want to share any kind of recipe secrets, but they really do smell of kind of cinnamon and honey and just lovely things that are Christmassy. Okay, so this is basically, this is the technique that I used for the roof tiles that you can see, the roof tiles here. Okay, and they're just a random placing of those 4 colours. So I have Nebula on my brush. And basically, that is it. There's not really an awful lot that I can tell you in a tutorial that you can't do for yourself. They're not like Caleros. They won't need soaking. They won't need a second coat. To be fair, Caleros sometimes don't need a second coat. I'm being a little bit unfair to them. But these are just good to go. good to go. And this is why I've got a 10-0 brush, because the shape of this holly leaf as well is, when you get into the corners, it's quite a tiny space. So all I'm doing is just block colouring, and that's all I did for the tiles. That's all I did. Okay, and when you think like you've used what's on your brush, teeny tiny bit of water into the pan. And you just finish painting the shape. Now, because I've got such a small brush, and because I'm not using an awful lot of water, even though these books aren't watercolour paper, if you're careful with your water content and you've got a small brush that won't hold much water, you won't get any warping. So you can see on here, you can see there's no warping at all on there, not a thing. And if I just, in fact, turn it over, zero warpage, you see? So you don't have to really worry about it for these books, as long as you get your water content right. Okay, so that is the beautiful Nebula colour, and I'll just demonstrate one of the other colours for you. I think I might do the Mars. I might do Mars and show you what Mars looks like. If I just scoot that up, it's still wet, but look how lovely and Christmassy and shiny that green is. It's perfect for holly. Okay, right, what can we do? Let's do this little leaf here in the Mars colour, I think. Okay. So again, this Mars is dry. Just going to take a tiny bit of water and it's ready to go. And Karen does tell me as well that once these are dry, you can use coloured pencils over the top of these. So if you wanted to kind of put, you know, holly leaf striations, or make little kind of dashes for the, you know, the little leaf striations on the holly leaf, you can actually use a sharp black Prismacolor pencil, or a brown Prismacolor pencil, or a deep green, and just make kind of little leaf marks on there if you wanted to over the top of the paint when it's dry. So again, I'm just wetting it very slightly. So this is Mars. So the green was Nebula, this is Mars. The beautiful gingerbready colour, the orange rust, is Venus, and then we have platinum on the end. And as I say, she will make you this Christmas set of 4 on pre-order if you wanted it in your Christmas stocking. Okay. So again, there's not a lot of technique in these paints. The paints make it easy for you, which is why they're perfect for everybody to have a go. You don't need to be a watercolour colorist or painter at all, in any way, shape or form. And if you think that you've just applied it a little bit too thickly, just dip your brush in the water, but don't dip it back in the paint. Sorry, dip your brush in the water, but don't dip it back in the pan. Dip your brush in the water and then just thin it out a little bit on the page. So you can see that that 10-0 brush really does pay dividends in just getting that shape perfect. And as I say, you shouldn't need a second coat of these. Sometimes with metallic paints, if you lift the page up and turn it to kind of one side, turn it to an angle into the light, you can see kind of streaky bits sometimes. But you don't really get that with these paints unless you've kind of got the water content too thin. Which you might do if you're worried about the warpage, to be fair. But you shouldn't have any problems with that. Okay. So I've just gone over the edge slightly there. Can you see? You may not be able to see because I haven't zoomed in quite far enough, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just in case you do the same. You can either go over it with your black fine liner, or what you can do is you've got your white gel pen, just make sure it's working, and just literally just lift it. Just lift it. Just lift it. Okay. If I was doing that in real time, I would probably let the paint dry before I did that first. But it's just to give you an idea of what you can do to fix it if you've gone over the edge a little bit. So if I move that up, can you see? Now it's still a little bit wet. You can see it's a little bit wet. But look how pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, right, so that's how I use the paints. I'm going to put this to one side as well. We can put the paints to one side. So I should say that you will need to contact Karen on Etsy. So if you go to the shop, so the KJDesignByKaren shop on Etsy, you will have an option to contact the seller. And that's where you just drop her a line and you pre-order the Christmas set of those 4 colours. Okay. Right, I'm going to put this water out of the way because I'm clumsy. Just going to put it behind me. I'm going to close my little tin of paints and put those behind me. Right, what shall we do next? I think we will have a look at the colouring the top of the house. Okay, now I've prepped this afternoon, so I'm almost sure that in the last kind of hour and a half these paints are dry. But what I'm going to do is, because I'm right-handed, for this purpose I'm going to turn this page upside down so that my hand is here instead of on there. I'm almost sure it's dry, but just in case, I don't want to smudge anything for the purposes of this tutorial. So where shall we start? Right, let me talk you through the colours. So, like I said before, Christmas colours are kind of good Christmas colours you can see along here are kind of like a true red, a true green, and then a white. Okay, you can add in your silver, and I've added in bits of purple here just for a little bit of interest. Okay, but those are your 4 basic colours: white or silver, kind of rusty gingerbread, green and red. Those are your 4 staple Christmas colours. Okay. Which is why I didn't have an awful lot of coloured pencils out for this whole page. So I think we should start with the gingerbread, the gingerbread. So basically I'm going to do the background here, okay? So I'm going to be doing it in exactly the same way as this. No, Holoway, no, I'm not going to. I'll tell you why. I'm going to start with the windows and then you'll understand what I do with the gingerbread colours. So we are going to create a lovely cosy glow inside this gingerbread house, okay? I'm just going to zoom you in a tad. We are going to create a lovely gingerbread glow. So I'm just going to move it out of the shadows a bit. Bear with me. I'm just going to place this so that you can see it, okay? So we're going to create, in this window, we're going to create this light. So it looks like there's lights on inside the house and it looks like it's warm and glowing and cozy. So I have my 3 kind of lighting pencils. So I've got my lemon yellow, my canary yellow and my sunburst yellow. So I'm going to start with my lemon, and the lightest colour is going to go in the centre of the window. Okay, so as you've seen me do 100 times before, a little blend line, light touch, okay, firmer behind, lemon yellow. Okay, can you see that? I might need to zoom you in a bit more. Bear with me, I know Claire, my good friend Claire Reader uses, she's a whiz with the app, but I haven't quite got to that technical stage of know-it-all yet. But she's brilliant with it, I know she is. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go to my, because we're working in a small space, I'm going to go to my darkest of the window shades, which is the sunburst yellow. And I'm going to put a blend line in, and then right on the outside, I'm going to put firm pressure, but leave that blend line in, okay? And this will give us an effect of a lovely lit window. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my canary yellow and basically fill in everything in between. Okay, so my canary yellow is my mid colour. Medium firm pressure over the 2 blend lines. Okay, so I've got the lightest in the middle Then I've got my Canary Yellow, and then we've got the sunburst yellow, the very slightly orangey colour on the outside. Okay, so can you see how that gives it a really lovely kind of glowing effect? Yeah. Right, what do we do next? I'm going to move that up out the shadow for a start. Okay, so I can put those 3 pencils away because we don't need those anymore. Now I am going to do the gingerbread. So my gingerbread palette is very, very simple. My gingerbread palette is 3 colours. It's the Goldenrod, it's burnt ochre, which is my mid, and then I've got my light umber, which is my darkest. Okay, really, really simple gingerbread palette. So you've got tones of kind of ginger highlights, and then you've got the deeper kind of biscuity and shadow tones with your light umber. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if I just move this down again, so can you see here I've got my lightest colour around the window because it's lit, so you're creating a light effect. You may have seen my tutorials on creating light before, but what we want is our lightest highlight around the glow of the window. Okay, because the light source, things closest to the light source, would be the lightest, so we're going to use our lightest of the 3 gingerbread palette colours. Okay, so light touch blend line. Let me just check you can see what I'm doing. Yes, you can. Now, apologies for the shadows in here today. It's kind of around about 3:30 UK time, so it's just starting to get dark, which is why there's a shadow from the overhead phone holder, because that's how I do my videos. My phone is in its holster here. Okay, light touch circle around that window. Okay, and behind that, oh, pencil snapped. I think that was probably my fault because I dropped them earlier. So behind this blend line, firm touch, okay, around the window frame. And I'll show you what we're going to do with the window frame in a minute. And the reason I didn't show you prepping the tiles is because I wanted them to be dry, because I don't want to risk smudging everything with my hand. So that's why I demoed them on a different page. And don't worry if you go on to these little bubbles a bit, because we'll be colouring these in a minute. But, you know, be careful, but don't worry about it if you do go over. And I probably will go over a little bit because I'm working faster than I normally would for the purposes of the video. So I know a lot of you have been asking me where I've been. I haven't done a tutorial in about 4, 5, 6 weeks. Work has just been mad. So I'm a private contractor and I'm working on Brexit at the moment. So you can imagine. Busy, busy, busy. Busy, busy. Right, I am going to go to my mid colour, which is burnt ochre. And I'm going to do a slightly larger circle blend line. Okay. And I just thought these colours would be really good to show you, because a lot of you will be colouring gingerbread and gingerbread men and gingerbread houses and all sorts in our lovely Christmassy colouring books. Doesn't have to be a Joanna Christmas book, be any Christmas book, but I just thought this really, really simple gingerbread palette would serve you quite well. So, okay, so I'm just going to go lightly over the blend line of the Goldenrod. I'm being careful not to, because I'm going to colour these little dots in. So I'm going to be careful. Oh, look at that. I've just noticed something. Can you see it? Can you spot it? Can you spot? I don't know whether it's Joanna or whether it's a printing error. I think Joanna's missed this. Look at this. I'm just going to grab my 0.0 pigment fineliner. Can you see? Can you see these 3 little dots here? And they're not on that side in mirror. And I'm just about to colour this. So I'm going to have to kind of do myself a little mirror image. So that's coming out of this corner. Like that. I just noticed that. That was just as well I noticed that before I started colouring. Look how close I was. It's not perfect because I'm working upside down, but you get the point. Right, fine liner away. Where were we? We were going round the goldenrod, light touch with a light touch of our burnt ochre. Okay, then I'm going to, in between the two light touch of the burnt ochre, I'm going to go with a little bit of a firmer touch behind. Okay. So you've seen me blend like this with Prisma colours a million times before. Just going to sharpen that up a little bit because I'm working in quite a lot of detail behind this. And actually a lot of you have asked me in the past what electric pencil sharpener I use. It's not actually an electric one, it's a battery driven one. So if I just show you, that's what it looks like. Just an auto pencil sharpener. I don't know if it's any particular brand, but that's it. Just has a couple of batteries in it. Really quite simple, not very expensive. I do have, is it a shark? No, it's not a shark. I do have a more expensive one, but to be fair, I think that one cost about £14, something like that. And if you're gentle with it and you don't really shove, you don't really shove stuff in, it won't break your pencils. So like I say, just firmer behind for your mid gingerbread colour. And then what we'll do is we will go back to the goldenrod and just smooth over that blend line. Right, let's just blend that out. So I'm going to go back to my goldenrod, firm touch over both blend lines, and it will just melt and merge. And I'm actually, because I'm working in a small space, I'm actually kind of going in little circles, so I'm scumbling. Okay, so you can see that's nice and blended. So can you see how that's giving us a lovely, like, kind of lit effect from the window? So you've got the lightest where the light is coming from. So I can put my goldenrod to one side, and then I'm going to go to my darkest colour, which is my light umber, and then basically we're going to blend out this burnt ochre and colour the rest, okay? Because the rest will be in shadow. So move this up a bit, okay? So just gently over your blend line here. Just careful around the little designs that we're going to fill in. And then we can come back as well to the burnt ochre if we don't think there's any, if we think we need to smooth anything out anymore. Okay. So it's a really easy, nice 3-colour, simple gingerbread palette. You've got your highlight, your mid and your shadow. Okay, bring this down slightly for my hand. Gently over this burnt ochre blend line. Just being careful around the lovely little lollipops. So the colours that I had out before are everything on this page. There's nothing, if you wanted to do this full piece, there's nothing on this page that you couldn't do with what I showed you at the start. So that is the entire kit for this piece. Now just bear with me and we'll just block colour this in light umber. So you can see why I did quite a bit of prep, because clearly I want this video to kind of be between 30 and 40 minutes, which is long enough. If you'd have watched me kind of do a colour along of the whole piece, it gets quite repetitive. Cool. Right, I'm going to put my light umber to one side. Okay. And then I'm just going to go back to my burnt ochre and just in a medium firm pressure, just go over these blend lines to make it nice and smooth. Okay. Where are we? I think that's about okay. Yes, I think we're there. Okay. So that's our kind of gingerbread bit. Now then. So my kind of true greens and reds are permanent red and apple green. And you can see where I've got along here. So you can see that I've kind of almost made the Italian flag along here with these colours. And all I've done is use my green and my red, and then I've left the white. I haven't coloured these in white pencil, I've just left the white on the page. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around this window and we're going to make the same pattern with these little bubbles. Now, you will not get things that have the exact same number in threes, if you know what I mean. You won't usually get the same amount of reds, the same amount of greens, and the same amount of whites, because it's just random what the shapes of the trim is, okay? Let me give you a for instance. Can you see here? If I wanted, say, two reds, 2 greens, and 2 whites, on this lollipop here, this one has six little slices. So I can have 2 of each colour. This little lollipop only has 5 slices. So I've only got 1 green. Be prepared for that. Study your pattern before you put your reds and your greens on and work out where you want them to sit. Okay? So I'm just going to start at random here. So red, then I'm going to miss 2. Red, miss 2, and then we'll go around and around and around. Like that. And on this particular bobbly bit, we have got the exact right number, okay? Got my apple green. So after every red one, I'm going to put a green one. And then the rest I will leave white. And it's just such a lovely, you know when you see Elf on the Shelf and he's kind of white, green and red. It's that colour palette. And it's just so Christmassy, just so Christmassy. While I've got my red and green in my hand, I am going to, this is entirely up to you, you can do your trim however you want. But I'm just going to do this in apple green. And apologies if the light is shining in awkward places. I can see the shadows getting bigger and bigger on the page. Hopefully I'm working in the area where it's decent enough for you to work well. Okay, and then all of these kind of little flourishes and the dots I'm just going to do in permanent red, just really quickly. You can take more time than this. Okay, right, I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. So this is my silver glitter pen. It can be any silver pen. And I've just chosen to use it this around the inside of this frame. Just really quickly, just block colour, dead easy. Okay, easy, easy peasy. Right, I've still got my green and red in my hand, and I'm just going to move this up ever so slightly again, because what I'm going to do is can you see how I've done this trim here? I'm just going to do the same trim on this roof here. Okay, so I think I will start with green this time. Let's just start with green. We'll work our way up to the centre. So again, green, miss 2. Green, miss 2. And the same on the other side. So green, miss 2. Green, miss 2. Green. Okay, now I think I've finished with my green. Yes, I have. So my red, I'm just going to put after the green. Okay. Block colour, medium firm. Well, no, quite firm actually. Okay. So we're creating kind of like that flag effect. Actually, I haven't finished with my green, I lied to you. Okay. There we go. Let me just grab my green back. I tell you why. I've got this little pie here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so this has got 6 pieces. Miss 2, red. Okay. After the red. Okay, after the red. So you've got 2 red, 2 green and 2 white in this instance. Okay. Now then, I'm going to go to my espresso colour. Now let me just turn this the right way around for one second. Can you see this little chap here? This little chap here. He is a good old-fashioned British Christmas pudding. It's kind of like a fruit cake, and then the white is left white because there's usually frosting on the top. And a traditional one comes with a bit of holly on the top. And what you do is for your Christmas sweet, for your Christmas pudding after your Christmas lunch, you flambe it. So you put brandy on and you set fire to it and have it with custard. So I've decided that these little balls on the roof kind of remind me of Christmas puddings. So again, bearing in mind that I'm working upside down, I'm just going to do the bottom of these Christmas puddings, because remember the frosting would be on the top. I'm just going to colour these quickly, block colour, firm pressure, in espresso. Little Christmas puddings. And you could, if you wanted to, draw little holly leaves on the top of these. And I think my husband has decided to feed the dogs in the next room. So if you hear chomping and biscuits flowing and stuff like that, I did tell him he had to be quiet, but clearly he's ignored me. So apologies for the shuffling in the background. Okay, and then the last little thing I'm going to do for this top of the house is I'm going to take my light brown glitter gel pen. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm just going to finish off the wooden window frame. I'm just going to quickly block colour that in. Like that. Just bear with me. And I did this last because clearly the gel pen will take a few minutes to dry, and if you did it first, you'd be smudging it everywhere. Believe me, done it before, plenty times. And you'll be wondering why I've got my purple pencils out. But I'm going to turn this the right way up and I'll show you. And then I'm just going to do this little decoration here. Just put the wooden frame around it. Like that. Okay. Oh, I think this pen's running out actually. Look at that. I think we're just going to have enough. I may have to get another one out. See, I've just gone over that line slightly there again. I'm just going to grab my white gel pen and just make that disappear. Right, so I'm going to turn this the right way up. Now then, do I need to zoom you out? I think I do. Okay. Can you see what a lovely effect that's made? So we've got a glowing gingerbread house. Now I have my purple pencils out because I wanted to. I've left this door blank. Can you see this door here? And I just want to colour it in the purple on the same principles as we've done the glowing windows with the gingerbread. So I've got, so I'm going to put the lightest around the glow of the window in the door. Yeah. So I've got my three colours. My highlight is my lavender. Then I've got my mid colour, which is the Parma violet, and I've got my shadow, which is the violet. So in exactly the same principle as we've done with the gingerbread, I'm just going to put a blend line of my lightest colour very quickly, and I'm not going to zoom you in because you see me do it above, and then behind that just a firm hand, really quickly, just to show you the principle again of creating the light. And then what I'll quickly do when we finish this door is I'll just give you some of the options for those shiny sweets, because there are 3 easy little things that you can do depending on what you feel most comfortable with. That work quite well for shiny sweets. Mid colour, little blend line round here. Okay, gently over this blend line, firm in between. Okay. I'm just going to go back to the lightest colour, medium firm over that blend line, and it'll just disappear. If you're using polychromos, you might want to layer up a little bit more, but Prismacolors are soft, wax based, so I love them. They blend on their own. Deepest colour, violet, again just very gently over this blend line. And then we just block colour this in a firm hand, these tiny little bits at the bottom. Like that. Okay, just going to quickly go back to my mid colour, which is my Parma violet, and just blend that out. I know it's only a small area, but still, practice makes perfect. Okay, and then the very last thing I'm going to do is these window frames. I've just got my brown glitter gel pen. These 2 window frames, I hadn't done them already because I didn't want to smudge, left the gel pen till last. So I'm just going to very quickly around the little robin, the robin redbreast. So the little robin redbreast is permanent red and the light umber. So like I said, you won't need anything else out. Then I showed you at the start to do all the little details. So these little pots here are goldenrod. Little swirls here are permanent red. These things, these kind of borders, this is the lightest of my purples and the mid of the purples. So you won't need anything else out. There we go, almost done. I think I'm just going to get these frames out of this gel pen, and I think it's going to die and kind of go to colouring heaven. It's got a little bit of ink left in there, I think. But like I said, I've left this bit till last because it's just going to run out on me. It's just going to run out on me, girls and boys. Come on, you know you want to. Come on, get behind me. Get behind me, everybody. It's got this last little bit of frame to go. Yay. Right, okay. Gingerbread house. How nice does that look? Cool, isn't it? So, right, sweets. So for this purposes, I'm just going to demo it with my permanent red, and I've got my Prismacolor white. Okay, I also need, for this purpose, my white gel pen. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it this way. Okay, so I'm going to show you three things. Take this little sweetie here. Okay, take this sweetie, for instance. Let me go right in for this. You see, I'm going to work on this little sweetie here. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is I'm going to get my red quite sharp. So if you wanted to shine in the middle, I'm just going to make a little jaggedy line with my red about there. This is all medium firm pressure, okay? Then I'm going to make a little jaggedy line here on the other side. Like that. This is the first technique, so you just leave a gap in the middle, and then you take a nice sharp white pencil and you just gently rub it over like that, and it gives it a tiny bit of shine. Can you see? It gives a tiny bit of shine. Okay, that's one way. Okay, and you'll have seen me do that on flower petals. The other way, and I'll do it next to this so you can see the difference. The other way is if I literally just leave a white bit. So the second one you can choose is to just do a clean line this time, and then just leave a white gap. And when you do all of your picture like this and then take a photo, it really does look like you've left a bit of shine. So can you see? Can you see the two there together? So you can see the shine is more prominent on the one where I haven't blended it with white. Okay, and then there's one other option. So if I just do it on this sweetie here and colour the whole thing in red. So again, really, really, really simple little tips and tricks for shiny sweets. White gel pen. Okay, just going to make sure it's working. And then you can put, can you see me? Yes, you can. Just going to make a tiny mark, like a little shine mark, and you can do them that way or you can do them the other way. So there's various ways that you can create shiny sweets on your Christmas pages. Like I say, I'm not going to do the border for this page. So you can have it going across like that as well. And if I just hold that up for you, you'll be able to see this one. Can you see? Okay, so that's just some really, really, really kind of basic tips you might find useful. And then the last thing we're going to do, like I promised, I'm just going to grab my stencils, and I'm going to grab my stencil and my pastels. And I'm going to see if you are in shot again, because you probably need to be wide on this. Okay. So there we go. Right, now I have two colours of silver. And it doesn't have to be pastels like this, it can be any kind of pastel. I've just got two colours of silver. I've got a light silver and I've got a dark silver. Now these are pan pastels. So my dark silver is Pewter. And I've got my light silver, which is silver, funnily enough. Okay, so I've got my two colours. Now this is going to be a very, 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 very simple Christmas background for you to try. So this is just a piece of plastic, bendy plastic. Okay, now this one is actually out of a stencil kit. You can see, because clearly I wouldn't be able to cut the inside out like that, but you get the principle. You can probably just make your own out of any kind of plastic or a pretty thick piece of card. Just cut yourself a snowflake shape. Okay. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to take my lighter silver and my finger, and I'm just going to gently rub the top. Okay. Now I'm going to be very, very careful that I'm not going to put any pastel anywhere near the colour on this, because the dust will make the colours of the pencils seem more muted, and it will make the paints seem more muted. So I'm going to be very careful, okay? So I'm not going to go right up to the edge. I'm just going to gently put myself in a light silver background, okay? And I don't want it anywhere near the paints or the pencils. So you may not be able to see that very well. So you can just about see, I think, the shimmer on that. So I've put the shimmer, you can just about see the shimmer on that of the pan pastel. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just finger blended, very, very simple. You don't need a sponge. You don't need anything fancy. You just need your finger, and you need your finger to be clean. So if you've had your finger in sticky sweets, sticky Christmas sweets, I'd say go and wash your hands. Okay, now then, I'm going to put my light silver to one side. I'm going to take my dark silver, my pewter colour, okay? And I'm going to place this snowflake just randomly on the page, like that, okay? I'm going to put a tiny bit on my finger, and I'm just going to rub it over this stencil, okay? Now, because this is a darker colour, it's going to show up. It's going to show up on the lighter silver underneath. So this pewter is darker. Okay, just make sure you've got it in all the little cracks and crevices of that snowflake. I'm going to gently lift it off. Then what I'm going to do is blow. I'm going to blow that excess pastel off, okay? Now that's a decent enough snowflake. There you go. You can see the snowflake. But I don't really want it to stand out that much. So I'm just going to gently rub my finger over it. And it just mutes it into the background. Can you see? Can you see how nice that effect is? I just turn it there. Can you see? So you've got the light silver in the background, and then you've got the darker pewter making that beautiful muted snowflake. And then let's just put a few more on. I didn't say more on, I said more on. Yeah, it's late in the day. She's cracking stupid jokes now. Okay, tiny bit of pewter. And I think, because this is a Jo Bannon Basford page, we should wish her well on Monday, because she is attempting a Guinness World Record. She's going to try to draw the biggest inky drawing in the Guinness World Book of Records. And she's hired her school hall, I believe, her old school hall in Aberdeenshire. Ellen, I think her hometown is. And she's going to be doing that on Monday. Now, she can't live stream it because it's going to take too long, but I do believe she's going to put some videos up on her YouTube channel afterwards, so keep an eye out for those. Okay, again, I'm just going to gently lift that stencil, blow, and then gently just mute that snowflake into the background. Okay, can you see? It's so pretty. It's like magic, and it's so easy, and it's, you know, it's one of the things on your page that you could get the kids involved with, to be honest. Can you see? And if you're scared of backgrounds and you want to do a Christmas page, this is a really good idea. So I'm just going to quickly put two on the other side, just because, you know, to make it even. And we're done. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's been a little while since I've made a tutorial, but I thought this encompassed quite a few things. Gently lift, blow, rub. One last one. One last one. Oh God, we're nearly at an hour. That's took longer than I thought, everybody. That's going to take an age to upload. There we go. There we go. One last rub and we're done. Just keep it away from that pencil and paint. Okay, move these out the way. lovely gingerbread house with snowflake sky. Okay, so as usual, I will list everything in the description, and if you've got any questions, just drop me a line. All right, bye for now, guys.